different renditions of your website, your brand, and trying to be subtle about it without bombarding them. That's where the sweet spot is.
This is Velocitize Talks, and I'm Lauren Cox. I'm here with Peter Delaney, Director of Product and Technology at WONDR. Welcome. How are you?
I'm all good. Yeah.
That's good. Thank you for joining us. So I'd love you to tell our audience a little bit about WONDR and what makes you different in this marketplace.
Yeah, so WONDR, we're a digital product practice. In layman's terms, we are a specialized business or agency that works within the CX world, UX world, building out products from start to finish. So how we try to work on things is we tend to help businesses define, design, build all the way to the end. So we're from the start of the life cycle all the way to the end of the life cycle.
Yeah.
And it could be something as simple as a normal website. Great, fantastic. We have perfect, good processes for that. But in other terms, it's building out new systems, new patents, new white papers in relation to those patents as well, and helping businesses actually put themselves in a structured place using the knowledge that we have to help them build out what they need to achieve as well.
Awesome.
So again, if you want to put it into kind of simple terms, we tend to help. We tend to be the tip of the spear for multinational companies to communicate with themselves and also define their products from start to finich.
Okay, awesome. That's interesting work.
Yeah, it is. Like every day is different. Let's just say that.
Yeah, I bet.
It's good.
So we worked with you on a client of yours, 11 and so I'd love you to tell me about, like, they're the first Catalonian bank in 100 years, new bank, and so you got to really define their user experience, their customer experience. So I'd love you to tell me a little bit about your relationship with and what you did with them.
Obviously, 11 as a new fintech, new bank, new systems, everything, start to finish, again, helping them define their banking systems and all the way down to even going live and communicating it. With the work that we did with WP Engine, it was to create a social dynamic network for their client base and user base. That particular network was designed in a way to educate those particular people without them actually thinking about it and knowing about it. So with WP Engine, we developed this particular WordPress website that is interlaced with many different types of media technology. So we have Brightco Video, which is a complete analytical system for videos for people to be able to watch, look through, read through, come back to it whenever they need to. That's 100% integrated into the new taxonomies or content types that were built into WordPress for them. Normal posts, normal sections. We had stories, so we tried to make it into the Netflix of banking for onboarding. And that's a very different thing versus what banks normally do.
Yeah.
You know, you go to a normal bank website and it's like, get a credit card. And
buy a credit card.
Learn about credit cards, and it's literally a help section, you know. Whereas this is your 10 steps to starting up your business, your 2 steps for why you need a credit card or a bank account and all that kind of stuff. And then trying to educate those particular people into the new world of banking, which is self-service, but it's self-service with education. And fintechs are usually bad at that. We try to flip it on the other side.
So you try to really empower the user.
Exactly. And again, they use that as a massive empowering tool for themselves, the bank, but they also use it then for giving back to the community and helping the community build themselves out in relation to fintech and in relation to banking as well. So it's a massive community life cycle. It's good.
So I was reading the other day that 42% of online transactions are now happening through digital wallets or mobile wallets. And second is credit card. So what do you, like from your experience in building, e-commerce sites, user experiences, things like that, do you think the credit card's dead, or how do you think digital and mobile wallets will move forward?
In layman's terms, I don't think the credit card is ever going to be dead, because think about it this way. We're still using ATMs, we're still using transactional information that existed in the 80s and 70s, much like those particular systems won't change because they work. We're going to build on top of it, and we're going to end up hopefully in a world where we still have our, I'm going to say traditional wallets, but our Google wallets and our iPhones and all those particular transactional wallets that are still connected to credit cards. But over time, they're going to start introducing different ways of paying, and paying through crypto, which again, the transactional fees on crypto technology, you're only paying for a thing called gas, which is a very minimal amount. It's moving information from A to B, and that's the transaction. Yeah. It's technically like an old school ledger, and it's very simple. But the credit cards and the wallets will still exist. They'll add on these particular different ways of paying. And then over time, you're seeing it now with Bitcoin and stuff, where you can withdraw Bitcoin into cash on certain ATMs. But over time, it'll just get bigger and bigger, and you'll be able to stick in a card, withdraw from any particular blockchain or any particular cryptocurrency, and those will be the transactions in the future, hopefully.
As you do today.
As you do
from
today.
your
Because we're built into routine, and we like the way we do things. We always have our own routines, and we always have our own ways of doing things. As humans, we like that. Trying to keep the same systems but slowly introduce different processes behind, but keep everything the same, will make everyone happy.
So I also read something else that was that 70% of carts, like online carts, are abandoned. Yeah. And so what advice do you give your clients that can help them kind of find that lost revenue?
Yeah. So again, I'm a man of data, and I love looking at things in a very simplistic way. So cart abandonment is always going to be there, okay? I know I do it quite a lot as well.
Human behaviour.
I'll add as many different items to different carts on different websites and kind of go, I'll buy that later. But it's about making things, there's two ways of looking at it. If you make the cart system as simple as possible without any distractions for the user, they'll get through it faster. That's the first point. So remove the idiotic questions like, do you want to subscribe to our newsletter? But yes, a marketing team would love to have that in there, but I'm looking at it kind of going, right, that's another
step.
5 seconds or maybe 2 seconds if they don't read what it's actually saying. And marketing people love adding in lots of text, which makes it painful. So making your cart system as simplistic as possible, with the least amount of information being shown to the user, so they can cognitively take in the information and just process what they're trying to do, which is buy something. Exactly. Then on the data side of things, we still have massive analytics on all of our e-commerce systems. We look at that in a way to kind of go, right, these people are abandoning. Why are they abandoning? Sometimes it's just natural selection. They just want to kick the tires and have a look, add it to cart and kind of go, all right, I'll come back to that later. If that's the particular case, streamline your different channels that you have to bring that person back in. There's one thing that is happening now which bombards people. So I'll add a t-shirt. Everywhere I go, I'll see that t-shirt. Throughout my digital experience, no matter what website it is, it's just double click, it's always there. there's subtleties to it as well. So you don't want to whitewash the user with that particular t-shirt or whatever it is to bring them back in, because they'll end up hating it.
Yeah.
They want to select a product because it's either something that they need or it's something they wish they had.
Yeah.
And if you continuously show it to them over and over again, they're going to end up hating it.
Yeah. So serving them up
different renditions of your website, your brand, and trying to be subtle about it without bombarding them. That's where the sweet spot is.
Yeah.
And again, abandoning will always happen, but it's always about optimizing your particular experience to make it simple and bring back in those users over time as well.
So do you have any theories of like making a great user experience with a great user interface?
Yeah, so like in WONDR, we have our own due diligence and process in relation to discovery, which we call Lab Plus. And
Lab
Plus,
Lab
just a plus
Plus
sign, you know.
Awesome, yeah.
Add a little bit of
simple, I like it.
Yeah, so at the very start of particular projects, we tend to define what we're going to do and how we're going to do it. In the Lab Plus phase, we start by introducing particular ways of doing things to figure out what the user needs, and that's CX, and what the client actually wants to achieve. So we tend to have our own particular ways and systems to build out a nice test case for the client to prove a fact. So much like 11 Onza, building in user experience and user testing from a completely early stage. So even when we were in concepting, like literally going, this is what we think your brand will look like. But taking that brand and bringing it to the public to get user information back on how they feel about it, how they rationalize things with it. Is it 11 Onza enough? You know, that kind of way. And then bringing that into fruition throughout the entire design process. So I think it was 1,200 people used in the rational tests for 11 Onza itself from CX and UX. And again, that was from concept. So the site wouldn't have even been built, but we would have had prototypes built out using Figma and then trying to progress it through that way. And over time, we build onto that over and over and over again. So it's continuous repetition to make sure that we still fulfill what the end goal was originally.
So I love to finish an interview of like inspiration. Like, where do you draw inspiration, or what gets you excited in the morning, like from a digital trends perspective?
Yeah, so look, the world is ever changing. Our business evolves daily now at this stage, and I have a certain interest in blockchain and a certain interest in, I won't say new technologies because blockchain isn't really new, but new ways of using those technologies. And I'm trying to stay ahead of the curve of that particular information, bringing what I feel is value into the business and then expressing that to our clients to kind of go, hey, you know, you should look at this because it will save or it will bring value to your company. What gets me up in the morning? Stand-ups. Literally, it's the interaction. And because of how things have changed over the past few years, we're interacting on 15-minute scales now with multiple companies around the world, and it's instant. It's no longer just go to a meeting and half your day is done. You are on it all the time. All day. And it's fantastic to be like that. And because of that, the evolvement of the client and the actual whole ecosystem is so much faster now. Rapid decisions. That's what keeps me going.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you. Thanks, Peter. So that was Peter Delaney at WONDR, and this is Velocitize Talks. Thank you.